What's up, guys? You know what it is. LEC Grand Finals G2 versus Fnatic Game 1 review. I have no idea how it's going to be. I watched it briefly live when it was live, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I was not the most pleased. So hopefully when I actually watch this more in depth, I'll actually like it more. I don't think I watched the first game. I don't remember seeing the first game at all. Draven, Lucian, Vi, Zeri, Volibear. So it is important to note that unlike the meta we watched in LCK, here, it's a lot of focus on lane swaps, like just moving around, finding good advantage for your scaling bot lane versus like one of these explosive bot lanes. Like Kalista's open, Varus is open, Ashe is open. You can go Varus Ashe, like straight up. Like there's some pretty potent champs. So for instance, if they picked Varus here, they might go Jinx, and then they might do a swap. And of course, G2 is one of the teams that flexes Rek'Sai, so it could be Rek'Sai jungle, which is an okay pick. Rek'Sai jungle is not OP, not compared to like, and I wouldn't say Rek'Sai top is OP, but it's definitely like good. So they have a flex pick with Rek'Sai, and that's why it's being blinded like this. And Zac also can be flexed technically. It's a reasonable pick into Rek'Sai, but I would say that it's like, you know, like if you put Zac into jungle, it's like, okay. They just take Tristana, which is Tristana, Sion. So this is already a little weird because, so obviously the Sion is an indication that it's Rek'Sai jungle, it's Sion top, and it's Tristana possibly bot lane, but also could be Tristana mid, most likely Tristana mid. But with this set of champions, like Tristana can burn like the turrets pretty easily, so then you have to say to yourself, well, if it's Tristana mid, what can I play into that? I'm not going to play Corki because that won't work. You could play Ahri, you could play Wei, you could play... And also, if you're picking an AP mid, you're probably an AP top then, so you're going to do an AD jungle. And notice, like, yeah, like they are definitely thinking that this might be a flex. You see an Acel ban, a Poppy ban. I probably would just ban the Kalista anyways, because at this point, it's like, why give them a strong pick like that? Like, if they want to pick Jinx, so be it. Like, whatever. Talia. So for them, they want to strengthen humanoid's pick by a ton, but there's still options into Azir, so... Like, I get the Acel ban. The Talia ban, I don't know if that's really as necessary. It's probably Zac top into Sion, and then they're gonna take what in the jungle? I mean, we've seen Xin be a priority. It's not that bad. Like, it definitely has to be an 80 jungler. And you're probably gonna save your support pick for some supreme counter. So, what is the jungle pick of Doom? Not Jarvan. Xin is okay. What else? What else do we have? That's interesting. So in a case of having a lane swap, junglers get to farm a bit more. And with their current set, I mean, I was going to say Bel'Veth. Keep in mind, they do have a little bit of a front line, and it could be a kite back comp, which may make the champion not as ideal, but it definitely can make moves in the sides pretty easily. Fuck, they have the Zac. I was gonna say, like, because they have the Zac, Nidalee is kind of okay too, but Zac makes an issue. Jax. I mean, they're going to be really heavy auto-based, so funny enough, this Even though I'm not I don't like Jack's jungle that much, it's kind of good. It's actually kind of good. We'll see.
In the LPL today, right? Mid laners level 8, everyone else level 4, level 5. When you're moving around so much, a lot of experience gets lost for both sides. That was locked in today.
That was locked in.
I don't know who he's pointing at, but if it's me, I'm shaking. That's awesome.
So it's Xin Zhao. There's nothing surprising here. So if they're taking Xin Zhao, then how do they finish this out? Because it's probably Tristana mid, full AD top side, which means they need AP. Oh no, it's probably Tristana bot, no? Because like you do need an AP mid. I mean, they could play Corki straight up. It actually would be good if they played Corki. And then you go, what? Tristana... Alistar? That's pretty good. Tristana Alistar. You can interrupt Xin and Zac trying to initiate into you. You have a lot of knockups, so like they can't just go Mercs to deal with it. And then you grab a Corki who has poke damage and also is auto-based. It's not bad. I don't know if that's going to be what it is, but it's not bad.
How do G2 round this out? I'm very curious as to what they go with mid. Everyone got to see Chovy's Corki today, and I wonder if Caps is feeling inspired, or whether or not he's going to stick to something more traditional, something like the Orianna. So far,
or else they're going like Ziggs or something bot lane.
Those are available, so he's going to have to show something today.
I don't know about that one. I don't think that's the pick.
When I think of Caps, I don't think of this champion. Who
do you think of?
Nemesis, actually.
I mean, it's Veigar mid.
This season, pretty unique control mage option. The Cage fantastic, especially paired with the other CC that G2 Esports have put together, and is setting us up for a relatively passive mid lane, but one where honestly you're going to have to be careful.
Lulu.
The Rek'Sai early pressure can be pretty difficult to play against.
And not fully surprised to see the Lulu coming across though. This has been something we saw here to the Jinx already. It's that Terra taking, as Aerodon's breakdown showed, you take the attack speed rune, you take Demolish as well, and just make sure the Drebs tear through these structures. But Anik, they're going to commit to it. So, I mean, in theory, yes, you can get more pushing power and take some more of the Terras, but realistically, I think you need to hyper-aggressive play that lane to try and win out and put the enemy behind. So I prefer going for something like Granada here. You can still take the
I'm trying to think if I would have preferred the Ashe or not.
Very well rounded, right? You've got a nice early bridge in the form of Xin with a powerful bot lane in the form of both Granada and Varus. You've got late game insurance with the Azir. Assuming Noah's going on hit, he'll also have some more guaranteed late game threat. And you've got the Zac to act as a frontline engage with the Renata utility provided behind it. Fnatic composition in terms of fighting, overall very well rounded with a good bridge from the other game into the mid game. The problem then comes with, yeah, on paper this works, but how does it function into the lane swap that you're expecting G2 to bring out here?
Yeah, because when we look at what champions have been successful overall playoffs, Fnatic have a ton of them. Renata so free can be taken away. On paper, if we play standard lanes, Fnatic have a fantastic composition. But Veigar Tristana, a bit of a wild card in the lane swap, as you mentioned, really the thing that's going to throw a spanner in the
I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit, because
even in XP, they've got a really powerful composition, but most teams really struggle.
Yeah, I think that's where
like the Veigar does stop some of the initiation like power into them, but the reason why I don't really necessarily care for it is because Azir and Varus, like assuming it's both Varus, just outrange you, so like your champion is not necessarily that crazy. Both Xin and Zac can also survive like your cage situations with his passive and with the Xin R.
We've got a lot of fans, a lot of dedicated fan bases, but the G2 and the Fnatic crowds, they always come out strong. Today is no different. We're going to be hearing those chants.
We'll see.
For all those exciting moments. I'm excited to see how things play out. So, what will Fnatic
We'll
do?
See.
The lane swap that we're all expecting. Tristana, a champion.
I feel like the idea of some kind of poke support or poke AP bot laner would have been also pretty interesting, but I understand why he didn't want to go Tristana mid. I get it. It's not necessarily the greatest matchup for Tristana. It's definitely like a, okay, we're gonna, this will definitely be a fight.
Now, I spoke to Finn earlier, and he was talking to me
so
about the best way to handle
Mickey is scouting out the Raptors. They already swapped up, and also just to make sure that I'm actually showing this in full from the 35, because the way G2 does this is that they try to find scouting information, right? So they spotted Zac topside with that ward. They don't know if Zac is going to move down or not. They don't have any information on bot side, but the Scion already swapped the bot. Now, ideally, I assume the Scion would give an empowered Q leash on the Rek'Sai so that he can farm quicker. But he's in a lane bot, so I assume he's trying to trick them to get XP. But he shouldn't get XP, because the second this guy runs into him, he doesn't do anything. So, I'm, like, I guess we'll see how this goes. Like, the Zac is already abandoned, they're looking to dive bot. And Razork did blue wolves, and they're already down here to make sure to punish him. See, for me, this is already a clear issue with how G2 approached this, because like, even just looking back from here, like, the Tristana shows herself here, right? And this guy's already kind of, like, defending his top camps just to make sure. Also, Xin started wolves, just to clarify that. But imagine if Sion power leashed the Raptors, then they took the red, and then they took the Krugs if they were able to. So you took all the bot camps, and then you just swing out, or you let Sion sack himself for the XP bot on the growing wave. He gets the XP, he might die, but the enemy jungler is kind of screwed, because then you'll contest the top camps, right? Like, so you might be fast enough to get these three, get out, Sion goes here, he gets killed, and then Zin's like, well, I kind of need to go here, but you have all these people, so then these guys would have to switch and go here. It turns into kind of a mess. But he would be winning. Yike would be winning, not Razork. And I've seen G2 do this. I've seen G2 literally do super leashes, like power leashes, for their jungler in lane swap situations. So I don't know why they went it this way, because this way it just feels bad. Like, the only upside is the fact that Tristana has the explosive shot to kind of DPS this turret faster. That's about it. They got 2 plates in 3 minutes, pretty good. And he's dead again. And he didn't really get much out of this too this time, so not really. I mean, this guy's just a dumbass. Like, what is he doing? I think it's very important to note that no matter what, like, the caster could say here, I'm saying, like, well, you know, BB is actually still getting the farm and still getting ahead, and it's like, he gave over, how much gold did he get over? 300 plus 400 plus 150 gold of assists, so that's 550 gold. Then another 300, another 150 gold, so 450. So that's what, 1,000 gold. And then he gave over another, and I'm pretty sure the third death would still be 300. So at 1450, gave almost 1.5k into the pockets of Fnatic, which is just like, do you think that's like an actual good trade? Because I don't think so. Like, even if the Zac is level 1, like, the Sion level 3 is not going to do anything. The only upside is that Tristana actually DPSs the turret faster, so, like, they're getting that as an upside, right? But that is not good. That is not pretty. So BB is kind of trolling, and they kind of trolled their lane swap situation with the bot side overall. Great job by the dual lane to get a ton of farm. They went back topside because they want to get the grubs. It seems like Fnatic did not want to anticipate matching this, which is a little weird, because when these guys are overstaying here, like, they can go bot. Like, so I guess the main thing you could say here is, at this point, Fnatic's duo could go back bot and send their top laner up here. And so you're trading grubs and top plates, and they're gonna get a dragon and your bot plates. And in that situation, that's a little unfortunate, but here's the thing, and I think this is the big thing here, is that these guys are still here. So Zac could actually come down here and take the farm, by the way. Like, he actually would access and get access to the farm soon. And I mean, the same case will be up here too, right? For them overstaying, him being a little bit low, they'll base, so he'll get access to farm here too. But I feel like it's a better outcome in that, like, you're gonna get the grubs, you're literally turret racing in a lane swap situation, which means the grubs actually have value. Typically, the grubs value is not that high. Like, it really isn't. It's mostly just gives your jungler, like, accelerated farm or XP. So we'll see. I mean, like, this also could just be their decision because these camps are up. Like, they even ping them. Like, oh, my bot camps are up, but I have no top camps. Like, if we swapped our dual lane top side, I don't really have a job outside of just doing grubs, or maybe hoping that his top camps are open. But my bot camps are for sure open, so it might still be a jungler call him saying, like, well, we're gonna go bot because that's where, like, my shit is.
wards littered absolutely everywhere on that bot side. The jungle observers highlighting it for us now. Fnatic making sure that they have full control over the space so they can continue to try and pick up what they can in the
So Zach is getting some farm.
It is know that leading gold thanks to those are the kills and assists been able to find.
Important has a gold, especially as without cards in the event we do get back to traditional lane. Want to be able to leverage that power still as well as keep dealing. Force it out of lane if possible. Initial void going down. He has to play catch up now because the Oscar struggle on top side. Level 2 Zach elastic slingshot without making the area. They just have no way to
Another the dive, BB. Commit back, we'll fall again.
handshake back. We'll try to get away the best he can. We just get
He dies again. But here's the thing, you know, like the Rek'Sai's pretty happy because the Rek'Sai's now getting the grubs, and the grubs are really good for these lane swap situations. And even though BB dies again, it's like, now when BB dies, it's not as like, it doesn't matter as much. Like the XP will be significant, like the XP that the enemy bot lane is getting in a way, but yeah, these grubs are actually gonna help. So I think what they have to do, and I think they already did it too, which is interesting. So they have a lane ward. This is like really pivotal. Like this, you see this ward down here, and I know I'm rewinding a lot, but that's just kind of like the case of it with how does this lane ward spots. They spot Sion already here. So they know Sion's already going back bot, so they actually still have time to go top. Yeah, Sion could go bot and then just stay bot, and their dual lane could go down there, and they could full sack top side with Sion down here even. But also keep in mind, like, the bot wave is not even in a good position. Like, it's like a growing wave that's gonna crash. So if the enemy duo gets there, like, let's say it's Hans and Mickey X, because, like, the wave kind of looks like this for G2's side. So if these two were here with this, then they would have a ton of time to hit the turret, but they don't get much CS, right? So in this case, like if these guys were up here, right? Sure, you're not getting maybe as much CS per se initially, but also you're gonna have a better growing wave. And ignore this images, and you're gonna have a growing wave, and then you can actually get a lot more from this. And if these guys show up, I mean, you got some kills, so you're actually stronger than them. Funny enough, like you're actually kind of stronger than them. I don't know. I feel like this is just good for G2 in the end. Like this managed to become like actually pretty good for them. And now here's Hans. What?
It has to be careful. Noah's still quite strong. Has the flash, as does Jun, but wants to kick this fight off. Knows the handshake isn't quite there. Jun now going to be in trouble. Time bomb just ticking. Reset there. Not quite waiting it out so beautifully, but the reset is in for Jun. He managed to live. Perfect from the side. Now chasing down Jun. Sweeper as well. Razor gets recover. Pong getting out. Perfect from Fnatic. Incredible patience from Jun. They tap so we collapse. Good cage. Absolutely on the trigger. Needs to back up platform. Wants to commit for the KLS.
What is happening in this game, by the way? So they finished this turret, and their turn is over now at this point. Like, they can't really continue zoning this guy without this being kind of a risk. And Xin Zhao is, like, eyeing mid, because, like, Humanoid is becoming a play, so he has to flash away. Personally, in this situation, like, ideally the Xin Zhao should be eyeing bot, and he should be here instead of having to help mid. So it's kind of annoying that he has two lanes that are, like, grossly attacking, and yeah, he just can't answer either, and this leads to him dying. So yeah, the mid bot lane didn't really play well with the jungler. It ended up costing bot lane's life and jungler's life, which is just hilarious. Honestly, just absolutely hilarious that that's the case. So the game should settle now, because it's just the bot turret up, right? So Fnatic's duo will just continuously fight the enemy duo in bot lane. Like nothing crazy there. The top camps are all open for Razor. Like he doesn't really want to overstay here. He wants to get his farm. Zac is like in a fine position. Like Broken Blade technically is in a fine position, even though he's 0-4. So since it looks like Zac is freezing the wave, yeah? Like this wave didn't fully crash, Zac kept it, and so he's freezing to get himself a win back. BB realizes this, and they ward the grubs. So notice, this is interesting. So because he's freezing this, there's a couple options that can happen. One, they could get 6 grubs, like Scion and Rek'Sai could just start this. And since this guy has no flash, this means that, like, oh, so it's level 8 versus level 6 for top lane. Most likely, these guys will not be able to fight the grubs, so they could take full grubs, easy. To them, though, they're saying to themselves, well, if he's gonna freeze this, guys, like, how about we just overload this turret and we get the 5 plates from this turret? Like, let's get the, how much is it? 250, 500, 625. It's like 700 to 800 gold. Like, this turret alone is like 800 gold with the plates. So that's pretty fucking awesome. So I guess that's just how they're viewing the game at this point. Like, well, we're down a dragon, we're probably not gonna stack dragons. Let's just kill these guys. But what's the wave they're working with? Like, how... It looks like Fnatic has access to the wave first. So the only downside about this play, though... So, like, okay, this is a bad play. And I'll say that it's a bad play because he was first on the wave. So he's already trimmed this down a bit. So you have to wait for one more timer. One more timer is another, like, 20 seconds on the map. Like, 20 seconds. So... while you're in place, these guys get to DPS this, and then they can still shift and match it partially. Now, if the play was happening now, right? Like, let's say their wave was here, and this wave was gonna crash, and then they could zone now. Yeah, then this is super good. But this plays a little too quick. And yeah, either no one paid attention to what the bot wave is, or I don't know. I mean, granted, it is a cannon wave, which is pretty nice. But I don't know. This is just kind of funny. Because also Mickey X should be going through bot first. Like you're on static Shiv, like you're really strong, and also Scion should be going through bot first. Like to me, the mid laner does not actually have to. Like you don't need to go through mid, especially if you know this is warded. What's the point on showing yourself on these wards? Why not have these two go through bot lane? You can Scion ulti. Like, this guy has no flash, by the way. You could literally Scion ulti under the right, like, situation. He can W with the Trist EQ on top of Tristana and get a slow, and you actually might be able to kill him. Now, the only thing is, do you have information on where Xin Zhao is? And so Xin Zhao, at this point, he took Dragon, and did they see him do Gromp? I'm pretty sure they did, because if you notice, Mickey X placed the ward here, and this is still up, so they're gonna 100% know he did his... He took his blue, he did his Gromp, and he has nothing on bot side after this. And the suggestion is that most likely he either based or went top lane. So yeah, why did they go this route? This place still works, actually. It's just a different version of it. They just did a poor version of it. Because I think your options are either you're doing the second grubs. This is 100% guaranteed free play. Or Scion and Lulu go through bot. Like, through bot lane specifically. And then you just play on the no flash Varus. And I think these are your two options. Everything else is bad. So the option they did was a audible call from first grub. So they had number 1 in mind, scratched it. And then they tried to go to number 2, but they already crossed through all these wards. And this becomes a scratch. And also the fact that, you know, Varus is able to hit this. So they screwed up plan number 1, and then they screwed up plan number 2. And they got nothing, and they got countered. That is not good. That is not great. Now, of course, you know, the upside is the fact that this guy was able to get some plates, and he got a little bit more farm. The Zac got some more farm, which is really, really good for him. Like, he actually recovered, and you countered the G2 bot play. Like, that is a huge swing for, like, Fnatic. And yeah, like, Yikes still gets the grubs, but I mean, he could have taken this, like, 2.5 minutes ago.
In favor of Fnatic, of course, with 6 Void Grubs taken down, but active now. Really have respect for Lulu, can't afford to leave him isolated in one of these towers. Takes a little bit higher in the fight to come if you are able to get pushed with these lanes.
Doesn't even if you're just late to win them, because bot lane very low, mid lane very low as well, so if you actually try to rotate away outside, which it looks like they're doing at the moment, it does open up for opportunity rounds, damage.
Lays down the cage, stun under Razor, that tower could be a problem. Coming in, captain start automating, just 2 Yordles. Doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. Right now waiting.
What just happened? Like, what actually just happened? So, Sion is building this wave. The Zac can just farm it with the Sion, no problem. The Varus is mid. And the Renata is bot. At this point, the Renata can peel out. You guys say, fuck this, let's go mid. I mean, especially if Veigar shows, and Tristana was shown just hitting this, this wave is already yours, so these guys should literally roll up to here, and you can actually hit this with 3 people here. And then, of course, Sion can come down too, right? And the Zac can fight him. No problem. The Zac can easily fight the Sion. It's not a huge issue. Like, this guy's not strong at all. So, like, why would Fnatic commit to a bot dive knowing that they can have numbers advantage on mid because all these people are showing? And you have Tristana's base tracked? Like, that's just... I don't know. I feel like it's just... You're not following the flow of the map, and you should just always be eyeing what is the best play. Like, either the Varus is going to push mid and he's going to roll out into bot lane, which, I mean, like, looks like he's literally going for the plate. And if you're going to do this play, like, let's say Varus is going to come down for this play, don't fast push this. Like, this also makes no sense. Like, why would you not wait for Varus to come down and then you act on this play? Because that's another option. Personally, I'd rather do option A, which is literally, let's just attack the mid turret because they all rolled out here and this guy's conditions suck. And we already got the bot wave. Like, why not just go for the mid play? Because it's so much easier. This timing is a little bit harder, but this guy really griefs it. So, like, he griefed their plan. There was a way easier plan to do that would have gotten them gold. And, yup. Yup, this is quite interesting. And now he burns Zac TP. Huh? 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 What? How does someone say that these guys are the best team fighting team? And then this is what I see. Like, this is the best team fighting team in LEC? Surely not. Like, what the hell was that? I'm just gonna wait for the replay, because the replay will be a little bit better. What is happening? Like, what is actually happening in this game? Like, start from here. They do this dive and everyone pans out. Okay, whatever. Naturally, you don't give a shit about this bot wave. You don't have to fight on this bot wave. You just have to... Like, it's so weird. Like, I guess if you're gonna do this, you might as well try to flash onto the Veigar, but then you're, like, caught out and you're gonna die to Rek'Sai. And it's the same case where I'm like, you fish them out of, like, you force them into bot. Their numbers are all here. Why not just go mid and make sure this is a done deal? Like, you can have 1 or 2 people, like, catch this, deal with this. Nothing will happen here, because guess what? Veigar's conditions suck. Support's conditions suck. But we're still eyeing this play. And the person you're going to choose to flip over is the Sion. And I mean, he has flash. So, like... And he's not flashing, he's like, well, I must be safe, right? And then Caps' Q comes back up and he just kills him. And meanwhile, like, what is Razork doing and what is Zac doing? Like, Zac goes into the stun. He presses R. Does he have Q? And then that guy dies. And then G2's like, okay, so you just won this situation, right, G2? at this point, if I'm Veigar, I'm basing. I mean, you don't actually, I mean, you can TP back too, which is fine, but I'm definitely not hitting the turret. Like, he's getting like 2+ plates, I guess, which is pretty sick. But he's like hella overstaying. Like, this is so greedy. Like, he's going for a full 3 plates. So naturally, if I'm Fnatic, you know, the first thing I'm gonna do, like, if I'm eyeing where everyone's coming from, when I see this guy hitting this shit, like, Razork is from the map. My Renata's not coming through here. My Renata's coming through here. And then Razork is going to meet him this way. Varus will take this wave. And Zac is running this way. Azir is running this way. Everyone is just going to nosedive into bot lane and overload it while Varus takes mid. And yeah, you know, there's a chance where, like, maybe placing a ward here is actually worth it just so Varus feels a little bit safer on, like, doing an extra push solo if he has to.
For them to say, yeah, we're pretty happy.
I don't know if Varus even has to be here.
The fact that Hansama finds himself a solo kill, a solo.
You know, interesting enough, they could let Zac catch this wave, and the dual lane could just be bursting into bot. Because Varus is way stronger and way more useful than the Zac at this point. So Zac could easily catch this and get a little bit more gold and kind of get back into the game a little bit better. Obviously, this is not necessarily great for Varus, I'll say that right now. But as a duo, they would be much stronger than the other situation. But either way, I feel like if I'm Fnatic, like, the way they're moving through the map, I would be much more, like, excited about trying to catch the Veigar. But, like, their approach is going through mid, and, like, the only person who's really actually, like, in position to punish him is Humanoid. Like, Renata and Xin should be here at this point. And this guy should be dead. Like, Caps should literally just be dead. And then Mickey's like, well, I came here just to maybe help you. So, and this is just, like, kind of mind-boggling of a mistake by Caps. In a way, like, if he wanted to take 1 plate, that's one thing. I mean, they also lose the Dragon, which is just, like, they should never lose Dragon. Because they're up-tempo, and they should be able to go back into Bow River and just overtake it. Hans flashes the Verisar, blows, but yeah, I gotta say, like, G2 are being pretty damn greedy, and, like, Fnatic just can't figure out how to punish it.
I think it just needs more time. Q need to get in a position where he can reset up the carry. That's realistically 2.5 to 3 items. Noah has gone to the value build, which isn't bad in this situation. It's just he's not the one who kills Broken Blade, who's joining him.
Flash hit Caps. He's just solo making plays everywhere. Just an absolute hero in this early game. That's the second R flash. Maybe absolute.
He's not the one who kills Broken. Noah has gone for the lethality build, which.
So then we have this situation.
I think it just needs more time. Q needs to get in a position where he can reset up the carry. That's realistically 2.5 to 3 items. Noah has gone to the value build, which isn't bad in this situation. It's just he's not the one who kills Broken Blade, who's joining him. Flash hit Caps. He's just solo making plays everywhere.
Because he knows he has no flash. It sucks that he got the kill, but, like, Jun read that pretty well. But this situation is bad for Fnatic again. Because guess what? Look, Zac is the one who's pushing out top, right? Varus caught mid once. Zac could push top again if he really wants to, and Varus catches one more mid wave. And then Azir shouldn't go top. Azir should go mid and catch this. Then Varus overtakes this play, if he can, right? Like, ideally he should overtake the next wave. Okay, so Azir does take the wave.
That's the second R flash, maybe even third R flash we've seen from him.
This game, he's come to play.
He should never. Okay, so I'll say this right now. He should never go here. This is gone. Give it up. Stay here and defend this, because once you give, like, mid lane up entirely, you can't operate controlling this lane and then this lane. Like, this just doesn't work, because they can go here and then they can go here, and then the Azir is suddenly at play, right? If he stays here, he's fine, because they can always come here and help him. So they kind of just like kind of just did this, which, like, I don't really understand why. And yeah, these guys are starting to recall. So, like, Varus is showing and Zac is showing, and then the jungle supporter going away. The Rek'Sai has what? Boots? Eh. I would have stayed if I was the Rex side. Literally, I would have stayed as the Rex side, and I would have just moved into mid, and I would start doing the bot camps. Like, I literally wouldn't give a shit. I would just start doing the bot camps while my duo is here. The only upside of the play that they're doing now is that this gives them initiative over Fnatic. Like, if they try to do a 2-1 lane control here... Because he's up in 15. How many wards does he have? He has 2. I think I would have stayed. Because if he comes in here, they should at least get like 2 wards here or something. And then the Lulu bases. And then the Zero at least has to be semi-worried about being a play, especially because he has no flash and they have no TP on top and no assistance. Like, to me, the Rek'Sai should just book it here and then they should just have this control for a little bit. And if a play opens up on the Zero, awesome, go for it. If it doesn't, that's okay. Because like you could just hit B and then you're fine. But then at least you have 2 wards on the bot side. Instead, Mickey stays and places 2 wards. He stays, wraps around. They know top side has vision on it. And he just takes that time to take out some pinks. But now he has the base to get wards. So he's going to be behind tempo with his team. So regardless, they're down initiative on the map. Like, nothing, like, even with the bases they took, like, they can't properly recover with wards. So he has the base. So... And then June is going to take another base, so Mickey X kind of just trolled that entire timer. So G2 literally had a plan to gain initiative on the map, and Mickey X messed it up. So they didn't get the play into 2-1 control into bot with 2 wards, and they didn't get the play of just having initiative with Mickey X having fresh wards and fighting. So... Whoa. I mean... There's just like a lot of weird decisions being made in this game. Just a lot of weird decisions. Like, I'm pausing in like way more than I usually do because it's just like, why did they choose this way? Like for here, like Fnatic is taking mid, right? And they have top, so they have 2-1 control, but enemy has Herald. Hello, hello, hello. And when enemy has Herald, you're usually on defense. Why? Because Herald just absolutely blows turrets up, and they have 6 grubs. So, like, them having all this means you're probably on defense, right? Plus the Herald. So, you're on defense. Okay. How do they play defense? My Varus walks up to next mid wave to hit it. No. The Zac is looking to hit the next top wave. No. This guy should shift over, control this. These guys should shift over, and then make sure that at least your bot tier 2 does not fall. But they don't do that. Like, they're just hitting mid turret, and then they're also hitting top. And then he TP's behind. But you already lost. Like, they already lost the turret at this point. So they see these guys coming a mile away. They also have the cage. And he lost all of his HP. And he lost all of his HP. Meanwhile, Broken Blade is kind of distracting the Zac, so the Zac's TP doesn't really turn into anything. Good by Broken Blade. Really good. Yeah, that was really good by him. And Varus is here, and how does Varus play this? Press R? Huh? Just press R. Press R. Press R. Press R. Press the R button. Press the R button. Are you fucking kidding me? What was that? Hello? So no R button, and he just walked into cage and lost all of his HP. Like, oh, dear God, dude, you played that so bad. That was insane. Actually insane how bad Varus played that. And then Razork is like just running his face into them. But Azir's not even involved in this play, so now you're gonna make Azir TP, but like you have no damage from Azir. And if you're gonna slow play this, at least like And I mean, like, what the hell is that guy doing?
What's the Herald forward again? The hostile takeover from Jun. Nicely placed, but only going to connect on the caps. Noah now going to be in trouble. Here comes the Rek'Sai. The bailout doesn't look like it's going to be enough. And Noah now Mike his caps now.
So, I mean, this is on who? This is on Noah. Why not just flash to the right at this? Why not just flash this way? This was good. I mean, you killed him. Good job. Good job. But, and also the Scion, by the way. If the Scion, after doing this, instead of running around this way, if he actually ran this way and flashed over an Ard, holy shit, are these guys so doomed. I mean, he's trying to read the flow of the fight, but if you notice how low these guys are, they can't run this way. Like, these guys are already here, so this is not an escape route. Their escape route is basically going this way or this way. So Scion should try to cover this, because Scion's not a part of this like whole like kiting part. Like that's not happening. He is the cutoff. You are cutting their legs off, and he goes this way. So Broken Blade, A effort for initializing, and then F for reading the flow of the fight. Noah, just an F. Razork, kind of an F. Probably like a D. June, not bad. I mean, he actually was trying to help them and like get out of this situation. And then Yike did something really dumb. I don't know why he did that. What just happened there? And then finally BB is here, but BB went this way instead of going this way. Granted, they do have a zero wall, so like his R like shouldn't hit in theory, because now they're fully grouped. Now the play, like now cutting off their legs kind of situation isn't like that apparent. But at least if he was here, he might have had a chance to even land a Q in the fog. But he goes, and then Humanoid, for whatever reason, Humanoid just like kites up into them instead of kiting down, knowing that this play is kind of dead. And then BB misses, and he has to flash. And what, they lose the game here?
Bit of a comedy of errors there as Broken Blade's also gonna whiff. Humanoid's gonna flash, and now Oscar goes in for the re-engage. They burned everything, and now Fnatic are gonna try to take over the fight, but Hansama is still standing, and that is gonna be a problem.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. This is bad. Like this is bad. I mean, Yike. Again, Yike. The ulti was good. Just like, why flash to the left? Oh, can Tristana do more here, by the way? Because Tristana is here, hitting this guy. So Tristana goes in to take out the rest of him. But in theory, Tristana also could have just W'd here and just slapped this guy's ass even harder. And it's probably pretty winning because Zen doesn't have R anymore. And this guy's pretty taken out. Like, BB can basically run defense versus the Zero perma and nothing bad happens. And that's probably better overall for the situation. But Hans goes for him, and in the end of the day, it works. So, like, I'm not going to say that's like a necessarily a bad decision he did. Like, he did kill Azir, so... Okay, let's see this one. So we're pulling the dragon. Oh, this is good. So look. The first positive that happened in this situation. We used Cage here, and we're pulling the dragon up, which means that we can fight in this area, right? So naturally, the carry should be moving this way, because this gives you a little relief. And then, of course, if they try to flank, then you kind of need to pull the dragon this way, and you kind of give the ground a little bit, right? But what's happening is that you have Hans hitting this, Caps hitting this, and they're trying to contest this, and there's just nothing. Like, there's just really nothing. And like BB's not in a position to go either. I can't even tell if his R's up. I think it's down. I think Sayonara is down. So BB doesn't really offer that much here. And just like watch this. So now it's like, okay, well that didn't work. So now we gotta run this way. Well, if you run this way, the dragon's already gone at that point. So the reality is you should have pulled the dragon, waited a second, position here, and then it's way better. You know? They didn't do that though. So the dragon pull is already kind of awkward. And then good on Oscarin to actually read that this is like, oh, this is int. And yeah, he kind of just died. And then that guy kind of just died. And now there's Soul Point. And Ocean Soul is absolutely insane. Like this is like the dragon to get. I can like anyone that's played League knows like when you have Ocean Soul, you feel like you're just like literally infinite health.
Looking good for G2. They thought that they were going to be able to take control, find the team fight off of this Tristana, but it's falling apart. Fnatic, they do a good job. Everyone just stops damaging the Baron. They do not cause any more, and then you have to just try and limit it. See how much damage you can get down, but it's not
6 HP. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, the smite is reported that low. But Fnatic, their aggression is rewarded. And ultimately, we think back to when Fnatic is at their most successful, is when Razzle is leading the charge, and you get down and dirty. And you know, G2 is a team that's considered to be willing to scrap, but that one dragon fight, they were caught completely off guard. Caps the first to fall, and Fnatic snowballed that beautifully. Now they lead with kills, with gold, with the Baron to boot. Fnatic looking poised to take down this first game.
And I think it's important to highlight Caps, incredibly crucial part of this plan, but very minimal. No movement speed steroids, no defensive tools other than KD. Has to play this wildly fine. Both like kicking things off, making two-man knockup. Cap away with the knockup for the back, but already dead. Cap uncontested on the back line, the dark master is going to fly.
My brain's slowly starting to melt a little bit because there's just so many weird things happening.
G2 is a team that's considered
Fnatic has the Baron.
They were caught completely off guard.
They need one member mid, and they're overloading on bot side. Now keep in mind, they're a poke comp. Like Varus can land poke, so and their enemy comp is also pretty bad on like. I'm trying to think here. What is your preferred location to fight in? I think so. I think they have the right idea on playing through bot lane. So in Baron powered play situations, you do a 2-lane like lane control, right? A 4-1 basically. And to me, like the Zac being on mid is mostly fine. Like they could actually put Tristana on it even. Like, and Tristana will kind of mess with the Zac a bit. Like the Zac will never do anything. But the thing is, if you're in bot lane, look at their comp. This guy like throws R in a straight line, and then this guy needs to flank. Everything else is just straightforward. Like it's just like we run at you kind of situation, right? So that is the most prone around mid, right? Because there's the right flank and the left flank for Rek'Sai, and then you have mid down for this. This one you only have the flank from above with Rek'Sai. That's pretty much it, and then the Sion ulti through down, and that's not a lot. So the best fight for sure for them is on bot side. It just depends on how they kind of set this up, and you know. You would send 4 people mid first, by the way. Like, just to make this clear, like, it's 4 people mid first, and then 1 bottom, so 1, 4, and then you kind of switch this up a little bit, and then it looks better. And while Zac is the first on bot side, I mean, I'm pretty sure Azir could have been there because he was doing wolves. So yeah, like, I mean, Humanoid has no flash, and BB sees it, and like, they chase him out, and they lost the mid wave, and what do you get, like, what are they planning to do here? Like, on Fnatic's side, you're gonna give up mid wave? Because if you're only playing for 1 lane, and you only get a bot tier 2, these guys are gonna push mid again, and nothing happens. Like, this is just a terrible, terrible, terrible play by Fnatic overall. And then somehow Humanoid doesn't press R to kind of stop the Sion, gets landed on, multiple stuns, dies. Bounce House kills the Rek'Sai. Coward. I'm sorry to say that, but coward. So Zac joins the fray, gets stunned, Bounce House kills the Rek'Sai. Noah's in the thick of it. Where's Hans? Hans was doing the ball wave. So, in theory, Hans could have moved this way and jumped over and knocked this guy in and made this a very interesting fight. He also, I don't know if he has a ward. Does he have a ward? He does. He has a blue. So, on Hans' side, Hans actually could blue trinket over here and sit here and DPS the Varus. And this will create Varus to run away, or he's gonna fight into the Tristana, right? Like, it's gonna create one of those two situations. So I feel like, because look, like Hans is even literally just DPSing this guy over here. But why not move over here and do it? It would have been fat. Dude, he actually would have gotten so much value from there too. And also would have been really interesting, because this guy hasn't cast any spells yet. He literally could cast WE on the Hans. Like, Hans could move here, go over here. This guy could cast WE, or he could just move in, and it might be better to just, like, maybe polymorph this guy or something. But cast E on Hans and go hard. He's gonna R this guy no matter what. Like, that has to happen. So, I think the G2 bot lane kinda... Yeah, like, the polymorph didn't really do anything. The timing wasn't the best, and... Does he need to W out of this at this point? No, he really does not. Like, they have to run because Scion Zombie's gonna start coming. If they infight, Hans is fine. He can always W away, no issue. He should have way more confidence. Lulu's shield will come back up, I believe. Lulu's shield is on now. It's 2207. 8, 2, 3. What does Lulu's shield see? Five points. This it's just 8 seconds flat. It probably will be up for another like 2 or 3 seconds at least. So he could buy a little bit of time, and I bet he would live from the Lulu thing. What the fuck? Holy fucking shit, man. And then they overchase. They forgot about Renata R, because it hasn't been cast yet. Oh man, June is actually... June, whatever his name is, he is actually just having such a killer game. Like, god damn, dude. Such a killer game by him. This still goes on. Holy shit. My brain is already cooked.
Same, to be honest. Yeah. What the heck is this? I'm not expecting much. You know, this was a queen. Oh, he didn't quite have the damage. No, got stunned in the middle of the windup of his Q, so the piercing arrow never shot. He never got to use all 3 stacks. I mean, they just fizzled. So Pig was so close to that stun going off. It was massive. Still have the pressure though. We're looking to continue the siege of this top tier 2. Caps back to base, making his way back out, and should be able to secure this before he can return. Dragon Soul on the card, 1 minute's time. Fnatic wisely gonna reset, spend what gold they can. Get ready for the next play. You look at the bottom of your screen and you see all those gold advantages. And truthfully, the most impactful line right now is Razor. It feels like the jungle difference is so massive. This Sin feels like this impossible carry to have to deal with in terms of what his ultimate provides, the lethality that he can bring, especially when he gets on top of caps. G2, it seems that they're floundering in the fights, and Fnatic are more than happy to brawl with the top dogs of Europe. Absolutely. This is all the way back to the early stages of the game. Clear game, and Dive repeatedly. Razor part of each and every one of those plays. Kind of responding. Fnatic going up to test outside. They concede so much, yet they don't have an avenue to make the same dice. So find the same opportunities. As a result, he's put behind from a very early start.
And now we're on Soul for Fnatic. Midway being crucial in this, both sides trying to get control of it. Fnatic have a ton of vision, and G2 Fnatic.
A decent start, but locked up. Bartels been hitting multiple people again. Hostile takeovers there.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this, cause like what in the actual fuck? Like, what in the actual fuck? What are these guys down? They're down 7k right now. Varus is pretty strong. Tristana has 3 items. Veigar is very strong. Rek'Sai's okay.
From a very early start.
And now we're on to Soul for Fnatic. Midway being crucial in this, both sides trying to get control of it. But Fnatic have a ton of...
Oh, he went for the cage. That's a no-no. He has flash, so they have all flashes, which means Scion can't commit R into them. Got it. That's really awkward.
But Fnatic have a ton of vision, and G2, they need to try and break Fnatic.
Knock up onto Jun. A decent start. Broken Blade locked up. Boris ultimate hitting multiple people, and again the hostile takeover is there.
I need to see what Tristana does in this fight.
Knock up onto Jun. A decent start. Broken Blade locked up. Boris ultimate hitting multiple people.
He should have flashed it.
Knock up onto Jun.
Vision.
It's a little awkward because one, Veigar can't use Cage this freely. Like, there's not a lot of defense once you lose it, right?
Knock up onto Jun.
So when they start casting all this shit, Tristana has to be incredibly bold here. Like, he probably dies, and there's probably no way to win this at this point. Just even seeing how this fight is starting, it looks super losing, because your front line is absolutely dead weight, and Caps is not playing a DPS champion, so he can only throw Cage and throw some spells, and that's about it, right? Tristana can either unload here and try to get 1 or 2, or she tries to do the big-ass LC play by doubling over here and tossing full abilities into them, flashing a 0R if he tries to 0R, and praying to God that's enough. Because he kind of has to have balls in this situation. Like, if you want to actually try to win this fight, you have to have balls. And Han Sama has no balls. Because he just hits this guy, and then he should flash the R. No matter what, he needs to flash the R. But his front line is dead, too. So the fight's already donezo. Yikes. And what? He throws Cage and then he just positions and lands on them? Extremely funny. Extremely funny. Okay, so that's the game. Okay, guys, so the MVP is pretty obvious. It's Jun. This guy, 100%, he played really well. He's easily the MVP of this game. The second MVP... Shit, I don't know. I don't have one. Literally, typically I have multiple people that I would want to mention, but it's just this guy, this game. There's no one else. I don't care about anyone else. This game was not the best. Like, quality-wise, like, just the decision-making on the map, and just, like, the seesaw motion, like, the chain, and, like, how do I say it? Pulling people around. Like, these teams were not good at pulling people around. They just run into you after, like, there's no pull. It's just push. Which is really weird to watch. And yeah, some of these fights are just like even just the dragon fight by G2, like, it was just so poorly executed. The fact that G2 overspent time to get a plate and almost ruined themselves just to get some additional gold that didn't matter, you could just get initiative. And then when they did try to get initiative, they somehow messed up that play too. Like, it's just like, wow, man, that's not good. So hopefully the rest is better. That's game 1.